it is truly my great honor to introduce a leader whose unwavering commitment to equity, economic development, and community advancement is really helping to shape a stronger, more prosperous Cobb County. Chairwoman Lisa Cupid. Since her election back in 2020 to the Board of Commissioners, following 8 years of service as a District 4 Commissioner, Chairwoman Cupid has been a tireless advocate for smart and inclusive growth. Her professional background as an attorney, a mediator, a policy analyst, and manufacturing process engineer continues to inform her pragmatic and people-centered leadership. Under her direction, Cobb County has not only maintained its prestigious AAA bond rating for 27 consecutive years, but it has also expanded services, accelerated response times for businesses, and improved access to critical community resources. And I think most notably, Chairwoman Cupid's deep commitment to workforce development has led to historic investments in reshaping the lives of residents and the future of our local economy. Through her leadership, the county has directed more than $8 million in ARPA funds to workforce initiatives, including $3.1 million in paid internships, which is currently on track for more than 650 youth for 2025. So that's a huge, huge lift. A $1 million investment to create a workforce development access point at the Graders Access Point, $4 million in investment to launch the new Cobb Workforce Center in Mableton, which is an anchor for talent development, entrepreneurship, and economic mobility. These are truly bold efforts, and they not only strengthen our workforce, but they also support small businesses and also provide a lifeline for residents and families in underserved communities. Chairwoman Cupid's dedication to service has earned her a number of different honors, including Georgia Trend's Top 100 Most Influential Georgians, Engineering Georgia's 100 Most Influential Women, and the Atlanta Business League's Women of Influence and Catalyst Award. She currently serves as the Vice Chair of the National Association of Counties and Community Economic Development Committee and is a board member for the Atlanta Regional Commission. She's also a board member for the Cobb Marietta Water Authority, the Marietta Coliseum Authority, and the Association of Commissioners of Georgia. She's pretty busy. She's also a very proud graduate of Georgia Tech and Georgia State Law. So please join me in welcoming a visionary leader and a true champion for Cobb County, Chairwoman Lisa Cupid.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. So proud of you.
Look at the time. Good afternoon, everyone. It is certainly a pleasure to be with you once again for the State of the County Address. And I know me walking out has been anticlimactic for some of you because a few years ago, during this Caribbean Heritage Month, we had the music, we had the dancers, and I promise we're gonna bring that back. But my accomplishment today has been just for me to be here in front of you today to deliver these accomplishments that we've all achieved together. And I'm so grateful to have the honor to do that as chair. Before I do so, I do want to take a moment to recognize people who make these accomplishments possible, starting with our Board of Commissioners. To my colleagues, I thank you for your commitment, to your service and your collaboration, and would just ask that you stand to be recognized once again. There's only 5 of us that lead this county of 800,000, and I know they feel the honor of that, but also the weight of that, and I appreciate your diligence and all that you do to serve Cobb County. A special congratulations to Commissioner Sheffield on her re-election to the District 4 position. And also to our newest commissioner, Eric Allen, on his election to Cobb District 2 seat. He is our county's first African-American male to serve on the Board of Commissioners, and this is an accomplishment that should be celebrated. It reflects his qualifications, his courage, but also the continued support of our citizens and inclusive leadership here in our county. To all of our constitutional officers, our school board members, our city mayors and councilmen and women, to our state and federal partners, your presence here reminds us that progress is never achieved alone. It is built together. And out of me paying rent for the work that it takes for all of us to come together, I ask that you stand once again because I could not do this without you. So all of our elected officials, again, in our state and our school board, I know your plates are beyond full, and I don't take it for granted when you take time for me and pick up the phone and you work on initiatives with me, whether it's across the political aisle or across the silos of our positions. I think we all see opportunity when we have the ability to come together and move the county forward. I also want to express my deep appreciation to the more than 4,500 dedicated county employees, our county manager, Dr. McMorris, and our department and agency heads who serve Cobb County with professionalism, integrity, and compassion. There is no job represented here in this room, from the highest level CEO to those that clear our plates from our tables, that do not have great responsibility and purpose. But I think that there are few jobs that can match the dedication of those who are called to serve the public good, whether you're in an elected position or whether you're in a hired role. Each of us in this line of work carry the weight and privilege to transform lives and communities. And I thank you, each and one of our employees, those of you who are here and those of you who are not, for being the reliable engine that keeps our county moving forward, our residents supported, and our standing as a premier destination to live, work, visit, invest, and serve. Thank you. I just want you to know the longer I serve, the longer my thanks become. So I'm not done thanking people. Okay. To my family who are here, I have with me today my husband, Craig Cupid. If you can please stand, our first gentleman of Cobb County. Looking good, Craig. Also, I have with me today are my parents, Mark and Yvonne Smith. If you can stand and be recognized. Our mom, she's been practicing. I love that. I also have here with me my Aunt Cheryl. Thank you for being here as well. We can clap for extended family. Public service is not an act performed in isolation, and I know that I could not be here without your support of me and support of this county. And I can attest publicly that your support and also your understanding never waver. I also know beyond my family that there is family in this room because there's family of shared purpose, support, compassion, concern for all of Cobb County. And for the many business leaders who are here, our nonprofit leaders who I've connected with along the way, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for your generous contribution of time to this county. Thank you for picking up the phone when I called to see how we can work together. Thank you for your service in making Cobb great. Thank you for the resources that it took to help me get over the finish line last November. Thank you. Thank you for just helping to make this possible. There are also women that I look up to across this region, and I would like to thank one of my sisters in service, the Chairwoman of Henry County, Carlotta Harrell. If you can stand and be recognized as well. I love you, and we have a sisterhood amongst the chairwomen of this metro region. We know the hard work and sacrifice that it takes to serve as women in these roles. And I look up to each and every one of you. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for your mentorship. And thank you for your continuing support. To our citizens, again, I'm honored, I'm humbled to be standing here as your chairwoman for the 5th year. There is no one that I know that has served in this role that has not been called to serve and that has not been greatly blessed by the opportunity to serve. And some of you may have had strong relationships with those that have been here before me. And you know, as much as it is a blessing to serve, that there is also a weight that comes in standing in the gap of what Cobb was when we entered into these roles and what Cobb will be because of our being here. I owe all of my predecessors who've made Cobb the best place it could be a debt of thanks. And I also owe our citizens that give me the opportunity to be here a debt of thanks, because none of us could be here without you and those that came before us. And having the opportunity to stand before you today signals to me that despite any and every challenge that Cobb County has faced, or that I or any of my peers on our board have experienced, that Cobb only has one trajectory, and it is onward and upward for all. Again, I would not be here if it were not for many in this room, and I am grateful for collaborative efforts and organizations like the Cobb County Chamber. We know, again, each year brings our different spheres different challenges, but I love how we come together to create opportunity, embrace innovation, and invest in the well-being of our people. Today, I will speak to the ways we are advancing in key areas essential to Cobb's long-term vitality, our economic growth, infrastructure, education, and workforce development. Also, I'll talk about healthcare access and support for our military and public safety. So let us begin where our prosperity starts, and that is with our economy. Economic development is not just about growth, it's about resilience. And for more than a decade, Georgia has earned the title of being the #1 state for business. This achievement is made possible by strong partnerships and bold leadership at every level. In Cobb, we are playing a leading role in that success because we are handling business at home. I'll begin with a distinction that only a handful of communities in the nation can claim. Cobb has maintained our AAA bond rating for 27 consecutive years. That's just not a credit to our sound financial management. It's a signal to businesses, residents, and investors that this is a county that leads with stability, trust, and long-term vision. And I want to thank our representation from our finance team. I believe we have our CFO here today and Deputy CFO. Thank you for your hard work in keeping Cobb County on top. This annual achievement has helped foster a welcoming environment for business development and has contributed to a thriving ecosystem. We've had companies like Fortinet, GE Vernova, Gas South, which are just a few businesses expanding here in Cobb. I also had the pleasure of joining our governor and the chamber and our Smyrna mayor at the Flock headquarters, which recently opened in Smyrna. I thank them for bringing things full circle, as they not only started in my alma mater at Georgia Tech, but they began their investment in Cobb Police Department in helping us reduce our crime rate. And it's wonderful to see them come back and begin their headquarters here. So thank you, Flock, for your contribution to Cobb County. Last year, Cobb had on record 18 economic development wins, creating over 1,000 jobs and attracting over $136 million in investment. And we know there are others. We thank Cobb Economic Development, the state of Georgia, Select Cobb, and our city and business sponsors for your role in these efforts. Also adding to further investment in Cobb is our Community Development Department, which last year issued over 800 permits totaling 7.5 million square feet in commercial space. We also had a total of 70 land use applications that I know our commissioners can probably remember one by one as we go through those every third Tuesday. But if I were to total up the amount of investment of the highest dollar land use zoning application in each district, it would total over $300 million. So we are getting things done as a board to secure investment in this county. While we are grateful for those large investments, we are also grateful for our work to support small businesses and entrepreneurship. Last year, Cobb County's Economic Development Department, with funding from our Development Authority, awarded $48,500 in innovation grants to small businesses throughout the county. Cobb Works also continues to prepare the next generation of entrepreneurs and job seekers with the opening of their workforce site in Gritter's Library and also the Entrepreneurship and Workforce Development Center in Mableton. These two locations help make enterprise more accessible for our Cobb residents. And I'm also grateful for the issuance of our county's first disparity study, which is making contractual opportunities more accessible for our minority-owned, women-owned, and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. We look forward to implementing strategies that came out of that study and closing the gap of participation in our projects. And one thing that was very interesting, even though when we started out on this venture looking at disadvantaged businesses, we saw that the solutions for those businesses would be solutions to help every small business here in this county. So I'm grateful and I'm looking forward to seeing how we can see all of Cobb County businesses move forward through that effort. Economic development allows us to also close the gap in underinvested communities. That's why my office is creating a global innovation and community investment program. We are seeking to attract high-tech and international investment directly in neighborhoods where residents deserve access to tomorrow's opportunity. Stemming from a conversation I had with leaders when providing a presentation at Georgia Tech, they began to help me reimagine of how we can deliver advanced technology training, startup hubs, and pathways to prosperity in places that have been overlooked in our county. Cobb, in partnership with the Georgia Attorney General's Office, is also addressing business activity and exploitation here in our county. Through a coordinated effort with state agencies, our Business License Division and Public Safety have cracked down on unregulated operations, especially within the massage industry, which has often hidden trafficking operations. Economic growth without ethical integrity is not the type of growth that Cobb County stands for. One thing that is also helping to fuel our growth is transportation. A thriving economy cannot function unless we have connected communities. And transportation is more than asphalt and access. It's about unlocking opportunity. I've shared when I gave the state of the county with our citizens a short while ago that if you were to look at a brochure of Cobb County, our destinations are no more proximate to someone living overseas than someone living here in Cobb County if they cannot get to those sites. I think that it's incumbent upon us to see how the great things we talk about can be seen, experienced, and felt by everyone who was here. And while our transit referendum did not pass last year, I can assure you that the need for accessible and equitable mobility remains. Whether by bus, by bike, by rail, by foot, our residents, our employees deserve a system that moves them safely, efficiently, and affordably. And I can tell you that we still are moving forward in seeing how we can make Cobb County accessible for all. Our Department of Transportation is assessing how we can make our current services more efficient and capitalize on the growing popularity of our on-demand transit service. As more and more workers are being required to head back to the office, we have seen growing interest in commuter service also from our county throughout the metro area. Last year, we launched Cobb Link Go, which expanded transit options in South Cobb. We are looking at opportunities to expand that service, and we know that there are other modes and communities that should be better able to ensure that every person, again, regardless of income, ability, or geography, can access jobs, healthcare, schools, and public amenities. I'd like to also recognize the advocacy of our community improvement districts when it comes to increasing support for transportation. We have been collectively advocating for GDOT's major mobility investment program, which is projected to reduce travel time by 15%. Project like the I-285, I-20 interchange for those of you that live in South Cobb. Also, our managed lane extensions and adding express service along new lanes that will be built along the top end of I-285. These are not just congestion solutions, but they are economic lifelines. We also support the state's commitment to investing in EV infrastructure, smart corridor technologies, and logistics innovations that keep our state and our county competitive. Last year, Cobb County received $500,000 to create a long-term sustainability plan, which is enabling us to update our EV infrastructure and create a center for hard-to-recycle materials. We are also tackling pedestrian and bicycle safety. Too many of our residents still walk long distances just to access basic services. And that's why we're holding meetings with stakeholders, applying for grants, and exploring initiatives to foster thoughtful and inclusive design. We're also not forgetting the basics. Every time it rains, we have to deal with the product of that, which is stormwater. And it remains a challenge for us in Cobb County. That was the sound of stormwater. Our system is aging. You don't want it to sound like that near your home. Our system is aging, and we have to do what we can to act now. We are committed to reducing water transfer burdens on our general fund and making the case for sustainable, transparent utility model to secure our investment future and improve equity in how we are charging our citizens for stormwater. But we have to move this issue forward. Speaking out about moving things forward, something that I am always proud about is what we do to protect the interests of actual people who I believe are our most critical infrastructure in our county. Their health and their well-being are important to us having a thriving economy. And I believe that when we invest in people, we invest in our county's future. And I'd like to start off with one of our co-sponsors today, Wellstar. A strong county requires us to be a healthy county. And when it comes to healthcare, Cobb County continues to raise the bar. One of our proudest achievements this past year is in the business community with the elevation of Wellstar Kennestone Hospital to a level 1 trauma center, placing it, yes. They are now placed among a select group of elite facilities in Georgia to handle our most critical emergencies. That designation means that Cobb County residents no longer have to travel far into Atlanta traffic for highest level of trauma care. And we are fortunate that we live in a region where you can be both a Grady baby and also of kin to our Kendallstone Hospital. Recently, I'm pleased to share that Wellstar announced plans to build a hospital in Ackworth to meet that area's growing healthcare demands. This will continue to make healthcare more proximate to residents and those in surrounding areas. Mental health is also a critical part of overall well-being, and I'm glad to see that being elevated as an important part of how healthcare is being delivered in our state. Cobb County is leading on the front lines of mental and behavioral health through the launch of our Find Help platform. Our co-responder programs also with Cobb Police are also helping us to address mental health matters by pairing up those in public safety with a mental health professional that can respond to mental health related calls. I believe that Cobb is modeling how to meet people where they are with dignity, appropriate resources, and timely intervention. In May, the Cobb Collaborative, who also helped us with launching Find Help, they held our first mental health town hall, and I appreciate the many partners in this room that participated. The month before May, April, Highland Rivers, they are our contractual body with the state that provides mental health and disability services in Cobb County and surrounding counties. And they help our most vulnerable citizens, our uninsured and our low-income residents. They recently purchased a facility in Austell to help house its Mothers Making a Change rehabilitation program, which is improving how we provide our vulnerable citizens with mental health care access. And while we talk about access, I want to take some time to honor those that made it possible for any of us to access anything, and those are our seniors. I share that my parents are here today, and we're grateful to have them, and we should be grateful to have our seniors throughout our county, as they are the ones that help to build the county that we've come to cherish. And I'm grateful for Cobb Senior Services for their diligent work in ensuring that they have the dignity, respect, and services needed to live a long, fulfilling life here in Cobb County. From nutrition and transportation to in-home care and emergency assistance, they are investing in programs that allow our seniors to live with independence, security, and connection. As we look ahead, we remain focused on ensuring that our senior residents are not only protected, but included as we plan and prepare for emergencies and hold different countywide events. Our seniors are a source of wisdom and strength for us here in our county, and these investments reflect our commitment to honoring their contributions and supporting our future. Now, our youth are often credited for being our future, and deservedly so, and I'm grateful that Cobb continues to make investments across the generations. I'd like to recognize those here with Cobb Douglas Public Health and all that you do in serving the needs of our citizens, but also the work that you've done in continuing the Babies Can't Wait program, which helps to support improved birth outcomes and safety for pregnant women and infants residing in Cobb County. I learned that our own Cobb EMC has helped us as we've experienced some impacts from the federal government with funding, and I want to thank Cobb EMC for stepping up to help us continue that program. These funds help provide regular prenatal care for uninsured pregnant women. They help to reduce premature delivery and low birth weight, while also providing in-home safety equipment. Our young persons are also set up for success by living in a county with 2 public school systems that are consistently among the highest performing here in Georgia. They have graduation rates and academic performance levels that reflect the excellence that we expect and the promise we nurture irrespective of where our students live. And our Board of Commissioners stands ready to help support the partnership with our school system at any time. When it comes to post-secondary education, Cobb County is also on the map, as we have some of our most respected academic institutions in the state, like Kennesaw State University, now one of the fastest growing and largest public universities in Georgia. But we also have Chattahoochee Tech, Life University, Georgia Highlands, and partnerships with Georgia Tech's Research Institute that are all serving as intellectual anchors and engines of our regional growth. And not too many counties can boast that they have so many post-secondary institutions. And it's my goal as chairwoman to make sure that we're not just touting their presence, but we want to see those students consider Cobb home, not just for their four-year program, but as a place where they can also work and live beyond graduation. When it comes to youth development, I know many of you are no strangers to that activity here in this county. Right here in our own jurisdiction, we have the headquarters of Boy Scouts of America. But also in Mableton, we have Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta corporate offices and campgrounds. Mom, do you remember Me and Mom Camp? We have our own Me and Mom Camp right here in Mableton. We also have the Cobb Youth Leadership Program, which my oldest son recently graduated in this past year. And my staff helps to put on the Cobb Youth Commission, and we just graduated 40 students across our county. There are also several other initiatives that I would just like to shout out, and this list will be exhaustive, but still not inclusive. But I'd like to recognize our Cobb County Solicitor, Makia Metzger, for her youth diversion program that she recently put in place. I would like to thank thank you. I would like to also thank our Cobb DA's office for the continuation of our Family Advocacy Center, which opened in January of last year. I'd like to also recognize Superior Court Judge Kelly Hill's Pinnacle program, which is helping young persons to expunge their records after several weeks of training and mentorship. Also, our juvenile court has a gang prevention program, and our Cobb courts also have an appointed special advocates program, CASA. We have tremendous partnerships with Cobb DFACS, and of course, Cobb Works BOSS program, which is helping to employ young persons and give them real-world experience so that they can contribute to Cobb's economy. But our police, they're also contributing to the development of our youth with the Explorers program, and I believe that is also modeled in our fire department. We have our National Guard Youth Challenge program, and I recently saw them honored at an event. We have several youth athletic programs, our Police Athletic League. Cobb EMS also has a youth leadership program. 4-H's arm of the UGA Cooperative Extension. Cobb Mentoring Matters, the Boys and Girls Club of America. The list goes on and on. I think when it comes to ensuring that we have a strong future, many of you are committed to that, and it makes Cobb County, I believe, special in ensuring our young persons have a place where they can thrive. Well, thank you for your service to our young people here in the county. When it comes to recreation, Cobb County Parks and Recreation is serving persons young and old, and our Cobb Parks continues to provide an array of programs that support the health and enjoyment of our residents. Last year, if you can believe, we had 7 million patrons that participated in events at our facilities. And I'd like for you to join me in recognizing our Parks Director for receiving the Distinguished Professional Award through a state organization for Parks and Recreation. I'm excited to share that over the next 4 years, I will be focusing on the build of an indoor track that we committed to in our 2016 SPLOST. And while I'm excited about the things that we have going on internally in the county, I want you to know that Cobb County is being recognized on the world stage. As was shared, in about a month from now, we will proudly host the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. This is one of the most celebrated sporting events in the country, and this is more than just a game. It provides opportunity to have powerful endorsement of Cobb's wonderful facilities, our unmatched hospitality, thank you Cobb Travel and Tourism, and it also showcases our amazing battery development. It will bring tens of thousands of visitors, national media, and multi-million-dollar investments to boost our local economy. But the momentum doesn't stop there. In 2026, Cobb County will also serve as a host site for the FIFA World Cup. This is one of the most watched global sporting events in history, and this selection further places our county on the international stage, reinforcing that Cobb County is not just a leader in business and infrastructure, but we are a cultural and tourism destination of choice. These events are more than just headlines. They truly are economic engines, job creators, and unifying celebrations of our diverse and vibrant communities. We are ready to welcome the world, and we intend to do so with excellence. Also, speaking of excellence, Cobb County continues to defend our country and our home base through our military and public safety services. Just a few miles from where we stand, Dobbins Air Reserve Base operates as a quiet but powerful force for our national security and local prosperity. Home to more than 5,000 active and reserve service members, Dobbins anchors key economic partnerships with the Georgia Tech Research Institute, Lockheed Martin, and other leading defense and aerospace firms. I want to take some time to commend the tremendous leadership of Colonel Michael Parks, and I want to thank the Cobb County Chamber for supporting continued state funding for renovations to Georgia National Guard facilities, and also for advancing license reciprocity for military spouses and transitioning service members so that it reduces red tape in hiring. I'm also grateful to the base, the chamber, and our elected leaders for participating in our annual Dobbins stakeholder meeting that my office has established to ensure understanding and to strengthen our partnership. I am grateful as leaders that we look to elevate opportunities instead of exploit challenges to see how we can move forward together. Cobb's commitment to security and readiness extends beyond our military installations, but our county is home to strong public safety infrastructure that provides a foundation for resilient and thriving communities. In 2024, if you can believe it, Cobb County achieved its 100-year mark of policing here in our jurisdiction. But that milestone was accompanied by another significant number. We achieved a 23% drop in crime last year throughout the county. We've been seeing these numbers fall over the years, and we've been afraid to even mention them out loud as we didn't want to jinx our success. But I couldn't let this number go because this has been a confluence of the hard work of all of our men and women in public safety and throughout the county, but also I credit it to the investment of technology that we've been making throughout the county with companies like Flock. Through the use of license plate readers and body cameras, all of that technology helps to feed and stand up our real-time crime center, which is helping us be very directed and efficient in how we catch criminals and is keeping all of our communities safer. And I'm grateful to see numbers like this, which continue to help us have a thriving county. A thriving county certainly cannot happen without a safe county. But I also want to thank other people that contribute to our safety. I want to thank our 911 Emergency Communications Center They continue to exceed national response benchmarks in answering more than 93% of calls within 15 seconds. I also want to thank those within our fire department, our mental health professionals who are working alongside them, and also we have a CART program where we have citizens assisting our police in how they're responding to non-emergency matters. All of these initiatives are helping to make Cobb County safer. And I couldn't let this moment go. I think I saw our sheriff step in the room, but I want to recognize him and his team for several noteworthy accomplishments, but particularly one, which is the Triple Crown rating, which recognizes accreditation from 3 top law enforcement bodies. And he didn't share this, but I think I read that they were the first county in all of the United States to achieve that accomplishment. So our sheriff and anyone who's with you, I'd like for you to stand so you can be recognized for your diligence in achieving that milestone. We have his chiefs here today. Thank you for being here. We have also strengthened our step-in grade system to retain sworn public safety officials. And with support of our citizens, we have been making phenomenal investment in our public safety facilities. We have opened up Precinct 6, which is in District 3, and we have expanded our fire safety training center. And I'm very proud to live in a place where those charged with serving our county and those charged with serving our country continue to have investments in their facilities. None of these accomplishments are possible without the support of our public, and they would not be possible without the support of our commissioners. And I'd like to highlight some of their accomplishments in making Cobb a great county for all. In 2024, Commissioner Gambrill has been upgrading West Cobb with new facilities, including pickleball courts, senior center renovations, and improved infrastructure. She also helps to prioritize animal welfare and road projects that are enhancing the community's needs. And again, as I shared, just this year, we elected Commissioner Allen to District Seat 2, and we appreciate his commitment to improving inclusive growth, fiscal responsibility, and public safety. In District 3, we have our veteran commissioner, Commissioner Burrell. She is our longest serving commissioner on our board, and she is indeed a supporter of our veterans. And she has overseen new facilities in her district and across the county. This includes Gritter's Library and the Workforce Center, Police Precinct 6, and the K-9 Public Safety Annex. She avidly supports our veterans, and she implements impactful programs like Superior Pets for patriotic vets. And we want to thank Superior Plumbing for their investment. And she also initiated the How to Do Business with Cobb event. And finally, Commissioner Sheffield coasted to victory as the District 4 Commissioner and continues to provide progress with the opening of the South Cobb Workforce and Entrepreneurship Center, the Chattahoochee Riverlands Project, and the recent opening of the beautiful Milford Osborne Recreation Center. New residential development is also underway, and I believe in almost every major corridor in her district. And she continues to foster not only investment in infrastructure, but in people through events that foster pride, like her annual Keep Cobb Beautiful events. And lastly, I would like to support my team. I could not stand here if it weren't for those that diligently serve in my office. I want to thank my Chief Assistant, Sana Mazim. You've been a rock star for me and for everyone in this county. I appreciate you so much. I'm also grateful. Yes, please. I heard one applause. She deserves all of our applause. I also want to thank my project manager, Josephine Arjo Turner. She has stepped up to serve as my full-time interim executive assistant, and she has been amazing in her support of me and everyone here in the office. Behind the scenes, thank you. Behind the scenes, you can't see Chris Thompson, who is returning part-time to help communicate the work that's going on in our office. And he was the one responsible for the Stilton music, so we're very grateful to have him, and maybe he'll help us get us that next year. I also want to thank Adriana Helenek, Rico Washington, who serve as liaisons in our office, Victoria Green, our administrative intern, and Cherry Frost, who serves as my volunteer special assistant, who will soon help me launch a fellowship program. As we reflect on this year behind us and look to the year ahead and the work ahead, one thing is clear. Cobb County does not move forward by chance, and no one moves this county forward alone. We move forward with intentionality. We choose smart policy over partisanship. We choose inclusion over intolerance. We choose innovation over inertia. And we still have a lot of work to do, but I know together we can get it done. We have the issues of affordable housing, it's not going away. Issues of homelessness that our county manager has been helping lead a team to address. Stormwater infrastructure is still something we need to tackle because it won't stop raining, guys. Cobb County, the work always continues for us to be safe, which is the foundation for us to do any of the other things that we're able to do in this county. And we also still need to ensure that Cobb County is accessible for all. Still, in everything that we do, it's anchored in one core belief that Cobb County can and we must work for everyone. Everyone must be all in when it comes to our county's success. This work is not done in isolation. I want to thank the Cobb Chamber for continuing to be a vital partner in shaping the future of this county. Your leadership and engagement of our business community have helped us turn plans into progress on so many fronts. Thank you for support of small businesses, all businesses. Thank you for attracting investment and creating jobs that fuel our prosperity. I also again want to thank all of our civic partners, our educational institutions, our nonprofit organizations, our residents. You show what's possible when the community comes together and when people come first. To our local employers, our entrepreneurs, our industry leaders, thank you for choosing Cobb. I just met a gentleman here today who just relocated his business here to Cobb, and he said, I chose Cobb County. I want to thank you for investing in this special place where we believe in our people, our shared potential, and we believe in how far we can go together. As I enter my second term as chairwoman, I do so with great humility, but I also do so with great clarity and resolve. As I stand here before you, it's easy to tout accomplishments, but you know that these past 4 years have tested us politically, they've tested us economically, they've tested us socially. But even as we've been tested, I also know that it's revealed our strength. They've shown what our county can do when we lead with integrity. They show what we can do when we take the time to sit down and listen to each other with empathy. It shows what we can do when we act with courage, particularly on behalf of those considered the least of these. And they certainly show what we can do when we move from challenge to opportunity. Our shared policies, they are more than a checklist. And the challenge of me trying to read all of those things is that it can seem that way. But what these things are and they represent is truly a blueprint for our collaboration. A tool my office will be developing over the next year is a nonprofit to support and sustain community-oriented programs and intentionality around investment in our underserved communities. I truly believe that when our government and our business and our community leaders align around common goals, we can continue. I didn't say start because the work started before me as I shared with those that have served before me. we can continue to move this county forward together. And that's how we don't just build a better county, that's how we build a better Georgia. So to our business owners, our educators, our service members, our healthcare professionals, our transit workers, our faith leaders, our neighborhood advocates, our everyday residents in this room, I see you and I thank you. You are the foundation of progress. You are the voice for our county's future, and it is the reason why I'm proud to serve as your chairwoman. Thank you so much.